Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's look, what we're going to do is a modern style of an undercut. It's a type of style that's very versatile. You can really customize certain looks when you are trying to accomplish or achieve an undercut. But today what I'm going to do is do an undercut that's really down to the skin. I'm going to add a lot of texture to the top of the hair and really add some volume as well. So hopefully you like it. So I'm going to approach the haircut by starting in the back of the nape area. I like to work there first because when I have a new client in my chair or I'm not really sure how the texture of the client's hair is, I can really get to know the client's texture. So I'm going to use my number one attachment, what I have right now on my clipper, and then what I'm going to do is work starting in the back, and then now you see me working on the side. But I like to start in the back first and then I work from side to side of the head just so I can get very familiar with the hair as well as staying consistent with myself. And here I am doing the same steps on the other side of the client's hair. So I start in the back and I'm still working from side to side. So now we're going to approach the haircut using our fade comb. When you hold the comb, it's always best to approach the haircut as holding the comb horizontally, because what you do is you're able to use the entire teeth of the clipper and you can run it against the teeth of the comb. And it's always good to comb the section out that you're about to cut, and you could always pull away just a little bit so you don't have to cut as much. And then if you feel like maybe you can take a little bit more off, you can take the comb a little bit closer to the scalp. So that's what I'm doing right now. I want to work in the back because, again, anytime you change your clipper work, you want to start in the back of the nape area, and then you work from side to side. So just be sure when you do comb the section out, you want to grab the hair that you want to cut, because whatever you have held in the teeth of your comb, when you run the clipper through, it's going to cut. And it's good to find yourself a colored comb such as this. It's through Johnny B Hair Care. That way you can really see the texture and the actual color of the hair through the teeth. It just makes the job a little bit more efficient and easier to work around. Now that we're on the other side, I'm going to continue the same steps. I'm going to comb the section out that I'm about to cut, and once I comb that out, I can just cut through horizontally. So again, you want to hold the comb as comfortable as you are. So if you hold it straight up, horizontal, vertical, however you want to do it, as long as you're comfortable holding that comb, then cut away. So we're going to finish the clipper over comb technique where we're going to start to transition the haircut when we start utilizing our shears. And for this haircut, we're going to stop right around where the crown's at. Do you guys see that red thing on my clipper? So it's just the number one attachment. If you notice, my lever is turned up or on. Some like to call it open, but it actually creates a 1.5. And what I'm doing is going over the section one more time. I'm able to really double check to go over any type of weight lines or shadows or any type of hair that I might have missed. The way I like to hold the clipper is more on a tilt. So I'm going to use my thumb to really stretch the skin so it'll create a flatter surface. And instead of having the entire clip or the clipper against the scalp, I'm just using the teeth of it just to kind of comb through the hair, and it gets rid of a lot of the shadows or weight lines. So if you do have that problem where you see a weight line or a shadow and you can't quite get it out, just stretch the skin in that section and just really graze over it. So of course I'm going to do the same thing on the other sides. I just want to make sure I kind of cover all bases before I move any forward after I take that attachment off my clipper. We're going to go back to the nape area. I'm going to use my clipper with no attachment or guards. I'm using a half, so that's my lever turned up or on or open, and what I'm doing is grazing towards just the bottom of the nape area. I'm going to cut just about 1 inch from the hairline. I'm going to work my way towards the sides, but if you notice, there's still a little bit of a weight line or shadow in the nape area because I don't want to start going in on the fade just yet. I want to just use the half, and then we're going to transition and blend everything all together. So I'm going to first use my half. Now I'm going to grab my number one attachment. I want to make sure it's a true one, so I turn my lever back down. I'm going to start just below that weight line, and I'm going to start to fade up. So you see my thumb, I definitely like to stretch the skin just so I can create a flatter surface so I can have that momentum. But you want to start a little bit below that weight line so you can keep that momentum and have a nice surface to blend through. You want to stay consistent with yourself, so work from side to side and continue the same technique and start a little bit below that weight line and then blend up and take it out. Because that's the goal, right? We don't want to see that line. Before I move on with my shears, I want to grab my fade comb one more time. I want to blend everything that I just worked on with my clipper and guards and just really blend it in together with my fade comb. Because once you do that, it's a nicer, smoother transition to just finish off with your shears and really build the style. Now it's time for some detail work. I'm going to pull out my trimmer and I'm going to use just the corner. I'm going to work around the arch of the model's natural hairline. And if you have a client or a model where the hairline sits right on top of the ear, don't be afraid to pull that ear down. Now I'm going to work around the arch and then I'm going to just clean up the nape area. Now it's time to really form that hairstyle in the haircut. I'm going to be using Johnny B gel as a cutting lotion. I'm just going to apply it on damp hair just so I can hold the sections a lot better. Now when we use our shears, we definitely need to have some type of structure. So I'm going to start in the front, work through the crown towards the occipital bone and then down to the nape area if there is length right there. But this is my starting point. I'm just taking the length off that I want and I'm really not going in on the haircut. I'm just really creating the guide. I'm going to comb the exact same section out, but at this point it's going to be horizontally because I want to just level out the top. I want to make sure everything at the top is, one length, and then I can go from there and work towards the sides of the crown. I'm going to pull from the front of the hairline and continue my guide working down. I just want to make sure that that guide that we initially created on the top just transition towards the sides of the crown. Be sure you continue your technique on the other side. You want to make sure you're very consistent even when you're using your shears because you want everything to match up. So I'm going to continue the guide and work it closer to the sides of the crown. Now what I'm doing is blending the length from the top and I'm just taking it down towards the fade as well. So I'm just combing out vertically and I'm cutting through just to make sure it layers right on top of the fade. I'm going to finish off by cutting vertically. It helps to layer the top length right into the fade. But if you find yourself looking and seeing a bit of a weight line or a shadow, this technique helps to clear that out. You always want to double check that work to make sure your guide is pretty leveled out. Not every style requires texturizing, but if you wanted to add more movement and have a little bit more of a body and volume on top, that's basically what I'm doing. You just want to continue working your texturizing shears from the sides and then of course working it up to the top just so that way everything is consistent and when the hair grows out, it just grows out all together textured. Because I like to use product every single time I get a chance to, I'm going to be adding in a blow dry lotion into damp hair and it's just smooth styling cream. Again, just like my other tutorials, I like to go in on the blow dry. So I'm going to use my vent brush just so I can blow dry the hair out and then I'm going to start to add in the volume by basically utilizing the technique of the vent brush. You want to flip the hair as you're blow drying it back. So I blow dried his hair forward and then now I'm blow drying just the front back and flipping it just to give that extra added volume. Now let's put this video on turbo just so you don't see how long it really takes me to blow dry the hair. I'm only kidding. You can take as long as you want, but I don't want to burn the hair out. All I'm doing is just making sure I get that volume in there. I'm going to grab a pomade, street cream, It's a water base, it's gonna give a matte finish. Since we put in all that work when we blow dried the hair, I don't want to use a gel so it just kinks the hair back up. So this really just kind of locks in that blow dry finish. So you want to emulsify it in your hands, work it in the hair, and then you want to start to style. Just be sure you work the product in the hair, that way it doesn't look oversaturated. Once you have the product all in, then you can start to really detail and start to really shape up the style. Let's step back and take a final look. I hope you guys like it. Thank you guys for checking out this version of an undercut. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and maybe can use a little bit of a tip on your next style. Subscribe and check out the next videos. Thank you.